So what is going on, guys? I am joined here by Callum, and yes, earlier today you may have seen that the Uncharted 4 gameplay preview from all these preview events of last week actually got leaked online. I think it was uploaded by Digital Spy,
yes.
And then people downloaded it onto their computers and then obviously uploaded it onto YouTube, and it went live on YouTube anyway about 2 hours before it should have done, and we are now recording this pretty much about an hour after the gameplay's gone up on YouTube, and we're just going to be talking about it, giving our kind of impressions on it, because it is very different to what we've seen so far, I'd say. Callum, go ahead and explain what you kind of think so far of it. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I just watched it, and then excuse me, and then Oscar was just like, yeah, let's make a video on it. So yeah, like, why not? Like, from watching that, it didn't really show much new stuff. I realised it's showing more. The main thing I think it was showing off is that it's a lot less linear in the game, which is what they've been pushing from the start of the development of the game. I think more than anything. I think Oscar was going to make this point before. I think it kind of reminded you a little bit of The Last of Us, because there was a bit more, like I said, less linear properties, aspects of it. So it made it a lot more. What's the right word to use here?
Kind of like open world.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more open world.
The thing is, and I was actually going to mention a different game when you think about it, but I agree.
Oh, okay.
There are elements of it which are very similar to The Last of Us, especially the elements where you can kind of like pick up the objects, kind of turn them around, that kind of thing. And I think we had seen that before, though, of course. However, the open world elements of it are like similar to open world. I mean, actually reminded me of Madagascar Solid 5 because it is incredibly similar in the sense that you've got these kind of outposts with lots of enemies, and you can go into stealth. You can kind of go up these walls and stuff, and you can take enemies down silently and then pick up their guns. And the environment itself kind of reminded me of the kind of Afghanistan area of Madagascar Solid 5, and it was so similar to me. I feel like they have to have taken some kind of inspiration from that game. Maybe they haven't. Maybe I'm just kind of drawing
speculating
straws, whatever. I don't really know. But there's definite elements of it which I think are very, very similar to that. So yeah, that was just one point I wanted to make. In terms of my overall impressions, I love the idea of just how kind of the driving elements seems so kind of seamless, and you can just drive around, and it's just like there's loads of areas which you can just like walk into and find the treasure. You saw that multiple times where Nathan Drake just walked into a cave or whatever and just picked up a treasure, and he's like, oh yeah, nothing to see here, but there's kind of that almost like friendly kind of banter almost in the car as well. And I also like the element of there was one point where he went up to a cave when they were mid-conversation, and they kind of stopped the conversation. Sam was like, oh, Nathan, where are you going, kind of thing. He went in the cave, got back into the car, and then they continued the conversation. They're like, oh, where are you at? That was awesome. The way they've managed to kind of merge those elements where if you get out the car, it kind of seems a bit rude in the middle of the conversation, then you come back in and they start talking about the same thing they were talking about before. I love that. I think that's an amazing little bit of kind of dialogue option that you have there as well. Overall, the graphics look insane, of course. I think we have seen this multiple times now, but obviously this is going to be the finished product. This is what we're playing on May 10th. I'm trying to think what else I saw in there.
I just realised that's a lot closer than I originally thought.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's getting closer and closer by the second. It's literally about a month now, which is crazy when you think about it. It's also very close to my exams, which is not a good thing. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the gameplay, let me try and think of other things that I saw there. We obviously saw a couple of cutscenes in there as well. There was one at the beginning and there was one in the middle of the gameplay as well. I like the element of just that seamless transition between that, because we have seen that before, of course, but not as often as we'd like to. Maybe we've seen the kind of gameplay to cutscene transition, but it's very, very seamless compared with what we had in Uncharted 3, 2, and 1, where basically it had a black screen to load a pre-rendered cutscene, of course, because these are now rendered in-game. And I think that's pretty much all you could say on it. I mean, there was very few new gameplay mechanics. I think there was one kind of, you could attach, like, what was it, a winch or something?
It was a winch, yeah. I don't see it. That's not a new thing, is it? The thing I want to see, before more of this stuff is revealed, I want to see some stealth gameplay. I mean, I want to see if that's been slightly improved upon, or if it's still.
Oh, hang on, there was one more thing actually. I wanted to mention that actually quickly. That you could mark enemies. If you saw in the little bit of way, it was actually entering enemies.
I didn't know if I liked that or not.
There was marking, and like again, that also very much reminded me of Madagascar Solid. But yeah, that overall, that seems like it could be a little bit of a cheaty kind of thing, maybe. I don't know for sure. Like, marking kind of in games is kind of more of a game mechanic than it is kind of realistic, of course. I don't know. It might be very useful in the combat sections when there's a lot of enemies, of course, because it is very open. So you do have to have that element of marking because you can't see all the enemies all the time. But anyway, that's pretty much all of our initial impressions on the gameplay. Go watch it already. By the time you're watching this video, the official video will have been up. So I excuse the kind of maybe lower quality gameplay that you're seeing in the background right now. It's at 720p, I think, not quite 1080. But that's kind of the best we could find at the moment. So yeah, go watch the full video that, of course, will be linked in the description. And yeah, go watch that, of course. Look out for another video we're going to be making later on tonight. We probably will be making another one because there's lots more news, I think, that's going to be releasing at about 3 p.m. Obviously 3 p.m. our time. And so yeah, look forward to that, of course. Go watch the gameplay. Thank you a lot for watching. Like and subscribe, and bye.